Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone had a great week, and I hope that you are having an even better weekend. All right, we're going to get straight to today's show. The title is Speaking in Tongues, and the topic is, what's your book love language? Okay, we hear a lot about love languages. So today we're going to talk about book love language because every reader has a unique way of engaging with books in the written and spoken book world or word world. This personal connection, this book love language, it can vary widely from one bibliophile to another. And understanding your book love language, it can deepen your appreciation of reading and it can enhance your bookish experiences. We all want that, right? So let's explore the different ways we love our books, shall we? All right, so first off, the collector. For some, the allure of a book lies in its physical presence. These readers, they are the collectors. They revel in the scent of fresh pages, the literature, the texture of a hardbound cover, and the sight of a well-organized bookshelf. All right, you can't go wrong there. First editions, signed copies, and then those beautiful illustrations are their treasures. You hear me? For collectors, books are not just stories. They are artifacts to be cherished, okay? They take their book collecting very seriously, all right? So don't sleep on the book collector. So how do book collectors indulge? Well, they spend time in independent bookstores, they attend book fairs, and then they invest in limited editions. Okay, they create a cozy reading nook where their collections can be displayed and admired. So that means you can look but don't touch. All right, so now that we've talked about the collector, let's talk a little bit about the devourer, shall we? All right, so devourers, they can't get enough of books. They are the readers who always have a book ready to dive into the next story. They read quickly and voraciously, and they often finish multiple books in a week. That's a lot of reading, right? So the quantity of books consumed by devourers, it's like a badge of honor for them. And then they take pride in their expansive literary horizons, as they should, okay? So how do they indulge? Well, they subscribe to book clubs and services that deliver books on a regular basis. They join libraries, or they participate in those reading challenges that you see all across social media, okay? And then they keep a journal, or they have an app that can track and then review the books that they've read, okay? So they can have a rolling tally of how many books they've eaten up, all right, and left no crumbs, all right? So let's talk a little bit about the escapists. Well, for escapists, books are a gateway to another world, okay? They read to immerse themselves in a new adventure, faraway places, and then just different lives. We all need that at some point in time, in our day, in our week, in our month, in our year, to just get away from everything, to just escape to a place to where we have no stress, we have no strain, we have no worries, we have none of that. We just have a good book in front of us that we can dive into wholeheartedly and just let it take us away like Calgon. All right. So, these readers, they often favor genres like fantasy and science fiction or historical fiction, where the settings are just so vastly different from their everyday reality. Man, don't we all need that? Yes, we do. So how do they indulge? Well, they set aside dedicated reading time, where they can be free from all interruptions, where they can invest in a comfortable reading chair or a hammock, out on a deck, out in the yard, wherever, that will enhance their escapist experiences. All right. So if you love audiobooks, then these are an escapist hideaway. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about the analysts. Well, analysts approach books with a critical eye. They love to dissect narratives, and then they analyze the characters, and then they debate the themes. You've seen them in the book clubs, and maybe members in your own family. All right, they just can't read for fun. They got to analyze everything. All right. So, but often, you'll find the analyst in book clubs, or they will exist out there on those literary forums. But the main thing about analysts is that they enjoy discussing and writing about books as much as they do reading them. And isn't that the purpose? If you're going to read something, you want to break it down. You want it to make sense. So, I can't sleep on the analysts either, because, they have their thing, and that's what they do. Because for them, literature is an intellectual pursuit. All right. So how do they indulge? All right. Well, they usually join or they start a book discussion group. Okay. So, and they write reviews or essays on books that intrigue them. All right. And they take notes while reading, and then they research, yes, they do, the author's background and historical context of each story that they read. Okay. Like I said, they wanted to make it make sense. So if that means that they need to, dive deep into the book that they're reading, it may be fiction, but still for them, everything has a reason, everything has purpose, and they have to find it. Okay. So don't hate the analysts. That's just who they are. All right, so now let's get to the rereader. Well, rereaders find comfort in familiar books or familiar stories. They have a selection of beloved books that they return to repeatedly. And rereaders' joy comes from revisiting all of those favorite characters and those worlds, and then they can find new insights with each read. These books, they often hold sentimental value, and they see them as old friends. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So how do they indulge? Well, they keep their favorite books easily accessible. They keep them on a special shelf. They keep them at hand so they can put their fingers on them. They can put their hands on them at will. And then they create a reading ritual for all of their cherished stories. And, and sometimes they can settle down with a favorite drink or a snack. And then they can share these books with friends and with family to spread the love. Okay, the books, but not the snacks. All right. All right, so now let's talk about the explorer. This is our last one. So explorers are constantly on the hunt for new voices and diverse perspectives. They seek out those books from different cultures and genres and authors. All right. So for explorers, reading is a way to broaden their understanding of the world and then to discover the unknown. Get it, explorer? All right. So how do they indulge? Well, they follow book blogs and social media accounts that highlight diverse literature. They visit the library and bookstores with a wide variety of international and indie titles. Okay, you get the indie part? All right. So they participate in reading challenges that encourage exploring new genres and authors. All right. So pretty much that covers every single type of book lover and exploring their love language. Okay, so we've done that. So now that we've done all that, let's see what we have left. All right. So, let's talk about discovering your book love language. So, no matter which love language that describes you or your style of reading books, the most important thing is to recognize that your book love language can transform your reading experience. Okay, that's the point. That's the whole idea of having a book love language. There's something different for every single person because not everyone is the same. And some people, they require variety in their lives, and there is nothing wrong with that because, it allows them to tailor their reading habits to what brings them the most joy and fulfillment. And that also applies to you. So whether you are a collector, a devourer, an escapist, an analyst, a rereader, or an explorer, embracing your unique way of loving books will and can enrich your journey through the endless realms of books. So again, what's your book love language? And listen, share your thoughts and favorite reading rituals in your comments. All right. So this wraps up our show for this week. And I missed you guys last week. My brother, just giving you the details of the situation. My brother came visiting last Saturday. And of course, I love when family comes into town. And so, and I love talking with my brother, spending time with him because I don't get to see him on a daily basis, not even a weekly or a monthly basis because, he lives out of the state. But anyway, that is why we did not have a show last week. And I missed you guys, and I hope that you missed me. But that was the reason why we did not have a show. But I'm back today in full form and enjoying every moment of it. And I hope that you did too. I hope that you all, will listen, like, and share because that is so important. Because this show is like my love language, okay? I love doing it. It allows me to do all the things that, that readers and writers and authors and listeners, okay, can do. And I love it. I love it so very much. And I love being able to sit down with you, just these few minutes out of your day and talk about some of the things that inspire me, some of the things that fuel me, and books and writing are just, a few of them. But anyway, I hope that that again, when you listen to the episode today, that you will listen, like, and share it again and again and again. Okay, because that is so important to me. It's important to you as well to get the word out there and to have that spirit of sharing and elevating. Okay, so let's try to elevate each other if we could do that. I appreciate you so very much for all of the folks who have listened and do listen on a weekly basis. I thank you for that so very much because that is so important to me. And also what's important to me is telling those who you care about the most how you feel about them today, because tomorrow is not promised and today may be the only chance you get to say it. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.